Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 27 in my second Let's Play series for Anno 1800. In the last episode, we continued work increasing the output of our production island of Lusk in order to prepare for the final batch of scholars to arrive. Today, I'm hoping to get the last few scholar households built and also increase the attraction value of swords by building a brand new zoo. So, a lot has actually happened in between episodes. I've advanced time quite a bit in order to go collect and find numerous various items for the zoo. I basically wanted to see how many different categories we could fulfill in order to get those little bonuses and then combine them with the music packs or the musical pieces so that you could then modify the individual categories and get like a bonus to the attraction value. Anyway, long story short, as you may be able to spot out here in the distance, the zoo is already built. And I've got a wonderful time-lapse for it, so let's begin. Alrighty, so just before we jump over to have a look at the zoo itself, I just wanted to add in this little touch-up I did to Lusk at the end of the last episode. I was kind of struggling and saying like, oh, I'm not sure what other building consumes veneers, wooden veneers, and it turns out it's the gramophone factory that I was just staring at right at the straight center of my screen, and people were commenting on that and how stupid I am, which is fair. But yeah, so I've basically placed down now 2 marquetry workshops, gotten rid of a telephone manufacturer, and then kind of buffed everything with the town hall. Everything is working much better and more efficiently here, and it's all enclosed in one little area, so all the wooden veneers are just kind of done in this place and consumed in that place. So I'm pretty happy about that. I think it looks good. So over to the zoo. The idea was to fill that space that had been left between the worker district and the vineyard and the investors and the engineers. They fill in these gaps with these things that take up an incredible amount of space, things like zoos and stuff like that, but not to have just one giant mega zoo. Instead, I decided to opt for smaller, more almost independent zoos and have them either next to each other so they feel like one, or actually have them in different areas and have different animals in them. So maybe in the investor district have more like rare, luxurious, legendary animals, you know, and maybe then in the smaller zoos have more regular animals like bears, domestic animals, whatever it might be. The idea behind this as well for gameplay is that the music pavilion can store sheet music, and that sheet music gives a 30% benefit to certain types of animals belonging to certain categories. So this one here, I was trying to fit in as many as I could, but ultimately I opted to fit in 9 animals, and that covers 3 categories that can then be covered by a music pavilion. So basically in this time lapse, you're just seeing the progress I was trying to make, trying to figure out like how many could I fit in there. It wasn't until I started to fit about 9 that I was like, oh yeah, I could get like 3 groups in here. And then I realized, oh yeah, if I put a music pavilion, I can then modify that and silo them off from another zoo, and it actually makes perfect sense. So what I was going for was the taiga forest, I think, and you could just see I was going over to Madame Kahina and just constantly like buying up items, heading over to Isabella Sarmento, buying up animals and items and things like that, and then ferrying them back here. And that's why I have this ridiculously big zoo that I keep checking every now and then. That's so I can see exactly how many animals that I have and how many sets I've already completed. So I want to have complete sets that are covered by music placed into siloed zoos, if that makes sense. And the best way for me to be able to check them, and I'm going down 4 corners of the earth here to find all the animals I can. And this is actually a pretty good way of exploring. I just had loads of airships just covering every patch of territory I could to get as much lost expedition scrap as possible so we could transmute items in the future, because people have been saying they wanted me to do that at the Arctic. I actually don't do it this episode, unfortunately, but maybe in the next one or in future episodes we can have a look at what Nate has to offer. I think I picked up something like 50 scrap, and I picked up animals and items as well, which I actually didn't know you could do just by kind of scoping out the fog up here. Anyway, I probably sound really ranty, but yeah, so essentially here back at the zoo I have that. This one is the one I'm actually working on, and the big, large, massive one behind me is, how's the best way to explain it? Each zoo, when you check the animals and you check the categories that you've completed, it doesn't tell you how many categories you completed on the entire island. It only tells you what you've got in that particular zoo. So you can see this one here is just the one that I'm extending out and just adding everything. I'm adding every single animal item that I have into it and removing any duplicates and things like that, just to see which ones do I have complete, which ones am I closest to completing, and then which ones can I get covered by the music pavilion that we've added in. Now, I go into it after the time-lapse, specifically what bonuses we're getting and all that. I can't remember off the top of my head right now anyway, but so I won't be redundant. I'll cover that in a second. So you'll see every single animal, and you'll see every single benefit, and then the music pavilion that covers it, and which type of music and everything. But that's kind of what I was doing here. It actually took me an hour just going, I think it's roughly an hour condensed down, going to all these different places, seeing what we need, and then like throwing everything into that zoo. So I think having zoos that are about 9 modules big, or maybe 6, 12, or 9 typically are kind of perfect, because that can add in then different categories of animal and have them kind of covered that way. So I'm really close, actually, if you saw on that screen just briefly, really close with some of the Embesson highlands and Embesson, I don't know, woodlands or animals and things like that. We're only missing like a couple. I've written them down on my notepad just so that if we ever do come across them, you know, there's only a couple we need. Like lions, ostriches, black rhinos. So I'm just having a look at it here. So there's literally only maybe 6 or 7 animals that we need to complete like 6 or 7 different categories to get these island-wide benefits as well as these big attraction bonuses. And there's actually a module. I forgot. Like the reason I'm doing all this attractiveness and why I'm building up to it. It's fun to collect the items, obviously, but it's also so that we can get the different palace effects. You know, you get different palace modules and policies. Sorry, not modules. You get different policies from building up the attractiveness. And we're up to like 7,000 or something like that when we run a World's Fair. And World's Fair gives us 800. So I guess you could say we're at about 6,000. Anyway, when we complete more sets and get more legendary items in there, you can actually run a particular policy if you wanted to that gives you something like 100 or 250 attractiveness per complete module. So we've already, like if I ran that, we'd need way more influence to afford all the zoo modules we have, because I think it's the same category. But we'd be able to smash the attractiveness easily. So that's where we're at right now. Alright, so that's the zoo done and in place. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. You know, it's difficult because of the irregular shape of the mountain here to really make it make sense, but I'm hoping in future to combine the two zoos kind of together through ornaments and stuff. So we know that later down the line, at least according to the votes on the Anno Union right now, it seems like we're going to get that, possibly that cosmetic DLC that will add like little overpasses and underpasses. So having little bridges and tunnels connecting these two areas together, I think it'd look really, really cool in future. Obviously, this will be moved back with a fence around it as well. So I'm hoping that it'll kind of look like a bit more of a unified area rather than siloed off the way it is right now. But in terms of efficiency, I'm really happy with it. Even though it's kind of a small zoo with not that many big legendary animals and stuff, it's providing us 394 attractiveness. Now the animals that are inside it on their own, if we added up all the attraction of just these animals alone, that would actually only give us 250. So because of the modifier of the Anno sheet music, the Anno 2205 sheet music, we're getting a 30% bonus to thematic exhibitions that belong to Taiga Forest, Luminaries, and Arctic Tundra. And you could also throw in Polar Circle there as well if you had it. So at the moment, I've got the Taiga Forest, we have the Brown Bear, Black Bear, and Elk. Then we have the Luminaries and Arctic Tundra, so we have the Deep Sea Dragonfish, Unknown Luminescent Fish, Firefly Squid, Boreal Caribou, Musk Ox, and Arctic Wolf. So this is giving us a 100 bonus to attractiveness and 5% increased visits to the island, not to the zoo. This is giving us attractiveness 3, when you have a pub, variety theater, and members club, so we get a little bit extra out of all of them. And then this is giving us a reduced needs of 5% for fish, bread, canned food, sausages, chocolate, fried plantains, tortillas, and seafood stew. Seafood stew is actually quite an important one, I guess, for us, considering I'm slightly struggling to keep up with the scholars' demands as we push towards the end. So I'm really happy with this. I think this little area is really nice. And it kind of makes sense. There's nothing too big and ornate or legendary in here. I feel like it's a zoo that would make sense near the workers, and I'm hoping that this will kind of make sense as well. This area is going to be then for largely aquatic-based life and animals. So let's have a look at it. You can actually hear music playing from the two different ones. This one has got the Anno 2070 sheet music, and this is going to be affecting ocean predators, excuse me, abyssal depths. I think that's it, is it? Just those two? Let's check what we've got in here. We have ocean predators, great coral reef, and also abyssal depth. So I'm only missing 2 things from abyssal depth. So let me just check that really quickly with the music. Is great coral reef listed there? It's actually not. So this music only seems to affect ocean predators, abyssal depths, And then the other ones are for different things. You know, Bronze Age, Atlantean, these are museum items or botanical gardens. So maybe this doesn't need to even be as big as it is. Maybe Great Coral Reef is covered by a different thing, a different sheet music, I'm not too sure. But either way, we have it, and that's giving us a two happiness benefit to worker residences, artisan residences, and obreros if we had them. Ocean Predators is going to give us 5% productivity to fisheries, pearl farms, and fish oil. So we don't need that because we don't have any productivity on this island whatsoever. Nobody works here. They all, well, yeah, I mean, people go off to work on the various different islands that we have. Anyway, then Abyssal Depths. I don't know what it gives us yet. I've never looked at any of these up online. I'm not chasing any specifically. I'm just like, oh, let's see what ones we can complete. This would be the nice one to get, obviously, to fit in with the music, as well as the fact that we only need 2 things left in it. Excuse me. So we need the Kraken, which is a legendary, and then we also need a Black Swallower. That was my nickname in college. So that's going to give us a 40 attractiveness. I think we saw that earlier before as well. But yeah, so we'd have to look up where we get those items specifically. I guess we could do it now. I mean, the Kraken. Let's have a look at where we need to get that. The Kraken. The Kraken's pit. What the hell is that? Oh. I guess you'd probably want that in order to find it. I'm guessing you find the Kraken through treasure, possibly, as well as maybe expeditions. So item source, obviously we can make one, or source one, I suppose, in the research institute. Diving, yeah, the Kraken's pit, the nest of Guckelmats, Megalodon's abyss, and the map of the abyssal zone. I'm actually tempted to just... Oh, I don't have my pen. Oh, I do, it's on the floor. Hang on just one sec. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Alright, so I'm just going to write these down very quickly. So, Kraken pit, just in case I come across it, you know. Nest of Guku, let's just say. Megalodon. Abyss. And then there's the map of the abyssal zone. So you can actually see the regions that each of these are associated with. Most of them seem to be Cape Trelawney. The Megalodon Abyss is actually the Arctic, according to the symbol. Sorry, abyssal zone. Alright, sorry about that. Just wanted to write those down because I'll probably end up looking for that in future. Now, Zoological Expedition level 3, a quest. These 3 could offer us quests that might result in finding the Kraken. This could be a pretty fun thing to kind of try and work away at. Because we could probably go to the Research Institute and just get it. Oh no, actually, I haven't invested into cultural science nearly at all. So it's probably not there. Not just yet. So yeah, so maybe, just really quickly, over in Cape Trelawney, I've got a bunch of maps, actually, I think, sitting in here. So I just want to see, do we have that one yet? So it's going to be, well, I didn't actually see what the colors were. It doesn't really matter, but... Oh, there it is, the nest of Guckelmats. So we have one of them right there, potentially. And this is in the New World. Alright. So let's,
New orders.
I'm excited. Maybe we'll get it. It'd be awesome if we got it, like, just straight up like this. So the nest of Guckelmats. I'm just going to transfer it. Rather than activate it now, I want to bring it with me. Here's another New World one as well that we can get. So the green is for New World, I guess. And what was that one? That was Map of Isabel Sarmento's Emergency Vault. Megalodon's Abyss. There's the other one. And that's the Arctic. We'll take that with us as well. It won't activate it there right away. And Map of Old Nate's Prototype Airship, which is also the Arctic. Actually, I guess we could just activate them here when we get there. Map of Underwater Pyramid in the New World. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do these New World ones as best we can. Cool. I'm excited. See, I've never really looked into that stuff, so that's kind of cool to find that stuff out. And this ship can follow us, and let's head to the New World. Go to Puerto Banús. Alright, cool. Alright, back to swords. So yeah, so like I said, this is a little bit more of temporary placement, but I do want to kind of combine it here. Now, depending on the different sheet music I get, maybe I could change things up. This, what does this need? This one has Extinct Species, Empire of the Eagle, Origin of Mankind, Aegean Cultures, Jurassic, Medicinal, and Icebound. I think it's only got one that's related to the zoo. I actually did write this down before, so let me just see. So the 1800 music... Yeah, it only has one thing for the zoo. And you can only put one music thing in with one area, so... I'll see, you know, because that might be kind of cool to have a zoo maybe in the Engineers or up by the investors if it's only going to have 3 modules and just give us a benefit and stuff if we want to combine it with the music. It could be kind of nice. But we'll see. Anyway, the whole reason I'm trying to build up my attraction is because we want to ultimately get it far enough along down here so that we get to, what's the final thing? 7,600, or you can get all the way to 9,000 if you just want to build that prestige. And it says it boosts all department effects. So I've never seen that or done that. That's pretty cool though. So 7,600 is my goal. I think when we run a World's Fair, it goes up to something like 7,000 almost. So we're not far away from it. And, you know, if we get a few more of those legendary items and combine some of that music and stuff, obviously I can just slam down, as you saw in the time-lapse, as many as possible, which is ugly as hell. But I want to do it right, at least thematically correctly. Oh yeah, the other thing that gives us attraction that I could be building further is the Docklands. Docklands gives you plus 15 attraction for each module, but it's only if it's connected to the Docklands. So I've got a few modules over there not connected, but this is giving us, how do I see in total? 615. It's quite a lot, you know, quite a lot. Anyway, this ship has just arrived. We have Thomasina Langton, promoter extraordinaire. So some of these are for the Harbor Master office, which we have here. So we have a travel agent, attractiveness 20, increased visits 7. But Thomasina, who arrived through a public mooring actually herself, is going to increase visits by 15%. So if we have a look at this really quickly, tendency is 0 right now. So let's see how much we increase it by when she gets here. Just 25. That can't be right, surely. She adds 25 attractiveness, but increased visits 15%. So I would have thought the visits would go up for tendency. So that's a bit odd. Attraction is like 1-to-1 with the increased amount of people, but you think that says 4879. Let me just take her off for a second. That's still 4879. Oh, well now the World's Fair has just happened, so it's flying up. Anyway, I'm sure it's correct. Maybe I'm just looking at it wrong in terms of how we see it. What do you do? Attractiveness 15. Maintenance cost is down. So what else do we have? We have harbor activity, defense turrets, etc. Yeah, so on the other one, we can slam in the harbor activity, I guess, if we haven't already. Oh, we have already. Harbor activity 20%. Affects public moorings. Increased visits 10%. Increases chance of specialists. Well, he seems like he'd be better to have, wouldn't he? Than attractiveness 15. We don't necessarily need 15 attractiveness, but let's get Yafan the Cruise Impresario, which I've pronounced 100% accurately. Alright, so the World's Fair is kicking off. We're having a sumptuous science exhibition. I'm hoping I delivered everything. Yeah, I did. Cool. Nice. Let's take a quick look at it.
But we do keep getting
What do we have going on in there? Some machines, trains, industrial machines, and the like. Loving this area. Look at it. It looks so goddamn good. I'm in love with my own creation. Well, I'm in love with the game, I guess. I just put it together in a certain way. Alright, so that's that. So next thing then is going to be to start developing up this area. So with the attraction value all up, we should have just done a trade to give us a bunch of seafood stew. And it's a bit of a temporary trade. Yeah, the trade has just happened. And I basically added 2 contract modules, or what are they called? Exports offices, to give us 2 extra contracts. Uh-oh. They've run out of coal. I'm going to have to look into that. And I just got a big batch of seafood stew delivered, just so that we can grow up to 7,000 scholars temporarily, and I can put down radio stations, because I don't know how big they're going to be. So we're going to just build all of these houses. And now with the trades just done, pretty much hope that they grow. Grow to the 7,000 threshold. So right now, for scholars, we're at 5,907. So we just need to get 1,100 extra from all these houses, which I'm sure we'll be able to do. So I did this in between episodes as well. I just added like this little extension area here, another kind of green area. I think I'm going to leave this as a green area, but might change this area around a bit to add in the telephones. I honestly have no idea how big a telephone thing is. The radio tower. Sorry, I keep calling them telephones. Radio towers. So with 7,000, we're going to get a radio tower, which could be huge for all I know, but I'm assuming they're not that big. I would assume maybe the same size as a scholar household, hopefully, and that way I can just pop one of these out and put one of them in. And I only intend on maintaining 7,000 scholars, really. So I might actually get rid of a few households once we get to that number. And what the radio tower is going to do... Oh, I guess we don't know, but it'll fill in the rest of the houses. Yeah, it'll give us about 20, I guess, population in the houses that are covered. The ones that aren't covered by anything. Yeah, it gives us... I guess it gives us 12. That gives us our answer, right? It gives us 12. 180 out of 120, so it's going to give us 12. Right, so coal is running out in the Arctic. That's not good. Let's find out why that would be. So they ran out of coal. Yeah, they're on 0. Uh-oh. And why is that, my good sir? Where are our coal trade routes? Surely we have too much coal on the route, I would have thought.
It's working. I think we have it.
I mean, these ships are basically all full. So what's going on? Let's have a look at the old world and see where they are. They're moving around. They're heading towards the area now. Northern Coal. Well, that's just the name of the ship. I wonder did something... Let me just double check this route. Like, I got rid of gas off this route, basically. So it actually should be going faster now. In a way. So I'm not seeing an issue. So basically, we go to the island of Rush. We pick up coal. Null, the small island here for Cape Trelawney. Then to Skerries. Yep. Then to Lusk, where we drop off coal, but we also pick up as much as we can within the limits. Then we go to the Arctic, and then we go back to Swords. So, it seems fine to me. I guess the issue could be, obviously, if Lusk is running out of coal, then this place runs out of coal. So let's find out if that's happening. It shouldn't be happening. People said in the last episode, by the way, oh, like, you put down, you know, the local department, and that increased productivity 60%, meaning you're consuming more coal. But I actually factored that in. Before the episode started. I knew I was going to get 60%, so I factored it into my Docklands. So that shouldn't have been the problem. We seem to be fine now. I mean, coal should be huge. 702. And it's 16 minutes away before we get 943. Then the minimum... Oh yeah, I guess it depends on what I'm setting the minimum threshold to be.
Too many changes, I hope.
Minimum is 400. I might need to think about that in between episodes and figure that out, because it could take me a while to figure out. But that needs to be the minimum that we burn through in 23 minutes. So, yeah, what would that be? I guess I could quickly check, right? So Lusk, raw materials, coal, 93 just on this island. So I'll have to just open a calculator really quickly. 93 times 23 is... Oh, that's crazy, though. It's 2,139. I can't set that as the minimum, can I? that would be the minimum that you'd want to keep here, though. But there's 5 ships arriving, you know, pretty regularly, dropping off coal. So I feel like you could almost divide that by 5, maybe. 427. That might be why I came up with the number 400. Interesting. 400 as a minimum is pretty good. I'll set it to be 450. It's not going to help the Arctic at all, actually, but that does mean that things are kind of okay. I just saw we have an empty contract slot here. Just, I don't know, temporary sake. What I'm going to do is offload the pearls that we make and just bring in some extra coal. So it is a bit of a temporary measure. This is an extra slot that we can use in future. But yeah, I don't know. Let's just list 100 and bring in whatever coal we can there. So I'm sure coal will fill up just fine. If we actually looked at the New World and saw what we're bringing in. Let's just select all islands for this one. Is a agricultural product? No, it's a raw material. Pearls, 2.
A competitor's island is under siege.
So, I don't know, about 60 I guess we could list. And not run out. So I'm actually happy for it to go down, though. So 100's fine. Anyway, that's a bit of a long-winded way of looking at things. Now, I thought what also might be fun here is to go on another expedition. We haven't done one in a while. And people said to, you know, add some crazy items and stuff. So let's try to do that. So we have an archaeological expedition here. Rations, diplomacy, force, and hunting. Artifacts. Assign a ship. The Terror, obviously.
I'll never get seasick.
And, yeah, I guess, so we need to go force, hunting, and rations. So, this guy here, for instance, is a hypnotist. He has force, so it's perfect, 55. Sir Charles Rafferty. Let's just have a quick read of him. Kneeling before the Queen, Rafferty said modestly, quote, "I simply did what I thought was right, Your Majesty."
A good
Okay.
seaman is known in bad weather.
So what else? Ooh, temple of we just add a temple to the boat. Anyone else with an interesting trait, I wonder? Is there any way of seeing that? It would probably be a character item, like a ship item. See, I don't know. Just can I add trait? Just no. Because yeah, it just says it in the thing when you hover over, like they have an extra trait. It's usually character items that do. Like this guy, he's an anthropologist, which I imagine would be more relevant to a botanical expedition. So maybe we won't send him on this one. But the hypnotist could be cool. This one's also a hypnotist, Dr. Salvador. Medicine and crafting. Let's throw him on there. Why not? People said you can actually add, if I'm not mistaken, different types of rations or something. Was it? We did get an item that was rations before. A bottle of champagne. There is no obvious use for this, but you never know. I won't add it, just because, I don't know. There it is. A Sunday roast. Extra rations. They're living it. But they obviously don't consume it and eat it, but it counts as extra rations, so not really too sure. It says it keeps your crew happy during long expeditions. I don't know what else it does. I think maybe you can put it in your town hall and consume it. But yeah. Alright, anyone else with anything interesting? Let's just scroll up again real quick. Alright, so... what am I looking for? Hunting. Hunting. Okay, I'll just search hunting then. Maybe we'll find something with it, you know, maybe we won't, whatever. No big deal. Wow, there's no character items with hunting? I thought I had one before. We've got good diplomacy, good medicine, good force. Hunting, we could just add a cheetah. Should we do that? That's kind of funny. And then...
They've had their fun. Let's have
some
ours.
consumer good. I don't know if you can get a consumer good that adds hunting. I doubt it. Although meat, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. But we need to add something. Some seafood stew, perhaps, for extra rations. Quite nice. Good quality stuff. Morale's not the highest, if I'll be honest. Maybe we should add on a different type of ration.
I wouldn't worry. Most only look at the pictures.
Oh, if we need to throw something overboard, we will. Alright, let's go with that. It's a bit of a crazy thing, but there we go. An archaeological expedition. Let's roll. Alright, we got the World's Fair done. Unique inventions, agricultural revolution. Let's go with unique inventions. And we're after getting Simmons electrifying elevator. Affects all mountain mines, productivity 40%. And then we have the Hopdale loom. Cloth industries 40%. And a railroad crane. Affects shipyards, construction costs is reduced 25%. Okay. Nothing too crazy, really. Let's just bring our flagship over to get something. Might bring that thing down to the construction, the steam shipyard we have. Now, how's our houses growing? What are we up to now? Scholars are up to 6315. Oh no. I think I saw a dip for a second. Telephones, everything should be here and should be fine. It just takes a while to grow. Happiness, I'm not doing good at all. But I just want to get to that 7,000, plonk down the radio tower, try to maintain that 7,000, and then deliver the happiness goods over the next couple of episodes. That's at least the plan.
Attention for the
So, that was an item that goes into a harbor master office, and it was the crane. Harbor activity 20. I think we already have that person down there, but just in case we don't. And then we could do another one, another 20% reduction. We can build ships really cheap now, I think. Oh, by the way, in between episodes, like, I'd been saying, like, is there a way to avoid using, like, have ships avoid using this pier? And honestly, I still don't know if there is a way, like, a better way to do this. I think some ships are still going to use it. But what I've done is I went into the routes. Let's have a look at Old World routes. Yeah. So, Old World. And I basically changed the direction. I dropped a pin on the opposite side of the island here. So it's kind of hard to see, but instead of going straight to the top of the island here where the harbor is now, I've dropped a pin manually, this pin here, around the back of the island. So they have to come around here. And then I think once they hit that kind of waypoint, they then reassess where they need to go. And obviously in front of them is the dockland. So that seems to be working. I'm not seeing many ships queuing up on this side anymore. So that does seem to be working. So that's a way of doing it, I guess, if anyone else is curious. So yeah, that seems to be working for me. Right, so we want to go to the New World and do some of those dives. Oh yeah, check this out. I've got like ships just sitting in a little pirate cove here next to Marbella. And I put the Regal skin on them. Kind of looks cool.
Cargo station.
At least I think so. Right. I don't have the second pier upgrade. Oh yeah, sorry. One last thing.
Attack.
Eli's messenger. No, he's fine. The Europa though. This can go over there. And the reason I say that is because our Research Institute has just finished making a propeller for me. So movement speed 15%, cargo slowdown is heavily reduced. Let's collect it. I just decided to do that. Oh wow, we're up to over 60,000 research points now. So yeah, let's just do very quickly fields of research, tech advancement. Oh, we've just finished industrial technologies now. So the only thing left in both talent development and technological development are now civil experts and civil technologies. So we could actually start trying to identify all those cultural items and placing them in. But I'm just going to get these ones first. Spend the majority of our research points. Alright, the expedition is off. And this guy can take that item. That propeller. Boom. So who do we have here? Captain Felicity Phoenix. Lala Mazig. Merchant. There we go. Hit points and damage slowdown. Oh, no. Can you add 2 propellers? Oh, wow, you can. So movement speed 10% and movement speed 15%. So this ship should be pretty fast now. Let's have a look at it. It is 14.6 knots, whereas this one is 12 knots. So we increased it by 2.6 knots. But we've also reduced the cargo slowdown effect, so that's nice. In fact, have we completely negated it? It's cargo slowdown negative 50 and then negative 25. So I don't know how that stacks, but it might be 50 and then 25, which means not as big of a deal, but still pretty good. I guess what I could do just to test it, I'm just curious, and I'm taking a while here, but we've loaded up cargo there, 300 tons. Our speed is now 14, so we're still faster than that. So let's just judge it against this. This is actually a really long way of doing it, actually, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throw the timber back and let this one pick up the same timber. I love how this ship can reach the docks, but I can't. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this ship is at 9.9, so that's pretty significant. You know, if your ship is fully loaded, we're now moving 4 knots faster, so that definitely adds up over these distances. Those items I'm likely to place on something that's on a trade route in the future, but right now we could just leave it on this ship. We'll sail over to here, see if we can pick anything up. We've also got some quests to do. I guess we could try figure them out and see if it's anything we can do, considering that it said some of these items we're looking for are part of quests. Alrighty, so our diver is here. Let's activate the treasure hunts. The Nest of Guckle Mats.
Aye.
Alright, and then we have the map of Isabel Sarmento's emergency vault. We'll just do those 2 first. I don't want to activate them all. Actually, I guess we can activate. There's an hour each. Yeah, I suppose that's fine. Alright, have we picked up on any signals? We've picked up on a signal. There it is right there. This place doesn't really have a problem, but I did think that we could probably in future do one of those major discoveries in order to specialize this port to be specialized for coffee. Something I've been meaning to do is also research the old world production chains, just so we can see what they're made of, and then if we need them, if we want to make like rum production. My kind of goal, now thinking about it, is that this island, Cape Trelawney, or this continent, this is where I'd like to do old world production, because this is where I'm going to have essentially bigger farms. I want it to be production focused. You know, everyone makes it resident focus and brings everything to here. I want to do the opposite, just to be different and see can it work. You know, I want to make this a big production island and ship everything out and see how that goes. So that's one of the goals. All right, let's have a look at the attraction value here. Now, what are we at? 488. So the World's Fair is over. Let's see if we can run another one. architecture. I need to do an architectural one again, so let's do that. So we need champagne. We've got plenty. Loads of felt. Goulash is fine. Chocolate is good. And cigars is great. So we don't even have to do anything. Everything's here already. What I will probably end up doing, though, just before this happens again, is taking that off. Don't need that on anymore. And how are these guys growing? How are they doing? Yeah, good. They take a very long time to grow, but I think they're steadily increasing. If I just have a look at population. Yep. Good, so what are we up to now? Hey, we hit 7,000. We've done it. So let me just quickly jump over to our diver. I'm just going to be checking over on this every now and then just to do these dives. And I guess I could turn this off. I don't think it matters for the ones that are actually quests. Some people said that, so it's whatever.
Hold the crane.
High spirits.
Alright, we got a long-range bottom trawl. The funny thing is, which one is the one that we... So the nest of Guckelmats is really the one that I care about the most, if we wanted to get the Kraken. I didn't even look at... What was the other one called? Black Swallower? Yeah, I haven't even looked at how to get that. I think we all know. Right. Yeah, so I have to activate the radio again. I can't tell if it's active or not. It's active now. Okay. So no idea. So let's open the map. We've got a tiny little kind of backwards C-shaped island. It kind of seems like it's... But that's north facing, so it's not there.
A fire broke out.
It's not Isabella Sarmento. It's got to be here. Cool. There it is.
On our way.
Alright, we'll set sail. And then we can go back to... So, something exploded. Let's check it out. In Crown Falls. Uh-oh. We should have, yeah. I'll have to just let that burn. The oil plant is on fire, actually. I'll let it burn, send the firemen out, and hope they can figure it out. Now, let me just check something really quickly. So let's check how big these things are.
Cherry atop our beautiful friendship cake.
So there we go, radio tower. It's 50,000, 70 bricks, 50 windows, 40 timber, 60 steel, and 40 reinforced concrete. Excuse me, god damn, I can't stop burping today. I'm very sorry. I don't know why. All I've had is cereal, so I don't know what's going on. So there it is. I've never seen this before. It's not as... Yeah, cool. Oh, so it is a little bit bigger. I thought I was going to say it's the same size, but it's not. It is a little bit bigger. Actually, I can just pop it down. There we go. And then we can see... Oh, yeah, its range, obviously, is quite important. So it's got... it's got pretty good range, but not amazing.
Your people are starting to get sick.
Not amazing for the 100% range, if you know what I mean. So if we go like this...
The fire has been vanquished.
It quickly falls off. So it reaches here, and then it changes, and then it gets weaker and weaker. So, not great. So yeah, we'll have to... I thought we'd have to do this anyway, but place them somewhere in these things. But it does make it awkward now that it is a bigger shape. And I don't want to have a radio tower inside the palace. I think that's weird. Looks really nice, though. Radio 180.0. That's really funny. Yeah, it's cool. There's like multiple entrances. It's not massive. I thought it was really going to be like even taller, like a real eyesore. It actually looks quite nice. I think it looks like quite a nice building. And it kind of fits the scholars. It's very much like almost like college radio. So that's cool. All right, so we'll have to decide where it's going to fit in here. Now, I had two designs in mind. I'm just trying to find it. I'm just looking through my screenshots, basically. Because I had a design in mind where I left a big gap. And I just want to see, will this work or will this fit? It probably won't because I didn't know the size before I laid it out. But where would it go? Okay, yeah, it might work. I'll have to adjust things. But okay, so the basic idea was that I roughly had it in place of a house here. Kind of. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move one of these houses for now. Or move two of them, I guess. And pop this in here. It's not going to fit. So what we're going to have to do is maybe move that over here. Yeah, and cut the road. So something kind of like that, and then I guess, yeah, do that. And then we could have something maybe up front here, like billboards or signs or something, and then turn this to angle inwards, so it's like the campus radio station amongst the scholar households. It's a bit more central. Looks quite nice, actually. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I could get rid of the green, but I like the green. I need to do something with it, though. It's just blank green right now. With regards to the other side, though, so it means that we're going to need a second one, right, on the other side, and probably do something just quite similar. So maybe right outside the front of the campus itself. So I'm going to pull, again, 2 houses out of this area. And I'm wondering, can we fit... How can we fit... Oh, yeah. So what I could do here is then cut this road. So it's going to make things a little bit more irregular. But I think it might look okay. Ah, speaking of irregular, that house doesn't even have a road. Okay. Oh yeah, and then you could cut this. That looks a bit better, I think, anyway. So just for now, let's just fill that with just some grass. And yeah, similar situation over here. Do we have everything we need? I think we do. I'll just rotate it around. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that. And we could maybe fill this in for now with that. Ugh, I can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, so I'll probably put something there as well. See, if I cut this road, this thing actually doesn't get power, so I can't cut that road. It's, the way it gets power is really obscure. It basically, nothing, the research institute isn't touching any, obviously I could just make a road here, I guess, but, it does go around and reaches the back. If I was to, for instance, cut this, I think that would run, yeah, it runs out of power. It just doesn't quite wrap around. Very specific layouts I've got going on here. So you might be wondering, okay, what about these houses then? So I could erode away the green here, for instance, but I think we've got too many. We're up to 7,800. I only need 7,000. I don't want to have more than 7,000, so I'm going to get rid of them. If I ever really feel like I want more, then sure, but I don't. So right now we're at 7,400, you know, we're still over 7,000, so that's fine. So yeah, maybe in future I'll move, I could move these down and extend the green all the way out, actually. Maybe that would make more sense. We could try that and have a look at that. Just being a little experimental here. Might go visit the diving bell just really quickly as well, just to make sure it's doing stuff. So we could do that. We could add this out here. Maybe the green in the center gets bigger. I don't know if I prefer that or not. I think I might prefer the green just being in different places. It's weird. It's like American Voices or whatever for that. Yeah, I don't know. That to me, that's a bit too. It's just weird. I think it looks better with the houses up front. That's just, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. Obviously, this would then be a road. So yeah, I'm just gonna move that back. I'm not happy with that. Because I like the fact that these blocks are like still connected. So you could do something where, again, there's the green in the center of the houses, but I don't know. I'll have to think about it. It's a shame. The greens are kind of plain anyway. I'm not really too sure what we should have in them. I kind of think of it almost like a football field where, you know, college students be playing their ultimate frisbee. I mean, back in the day, I guess in 1800s, I don't know what they'd be playing. Football, I suppose. Cricket, depending on where they are. Expedition requires attention. Before we do that, let's just jump back over here quite quickly. Let's get the diving belt. Let's dive. The other thing is bunched up on me right now. Oh my god, we got it! We actually got it! We got the Kraken! I can't believe we did it! Wow. Nailed it. Nailed it. Awesome. Alright, let's load that up on the other ship, and we'll just send that back right now. We can have a look at what the Kraken looks like. So let's just go find the next thing. It seems like it's out this way somewhere.
Bring her around.
There it is.
Your
Okay,
people
so that's queued up.
are healthy again.
Let's go to the damaged building. Let's fix it. Let's go back here and let's do the expedition.
Are we masters of our craft?
A crack in the hull. Water in the hull. The overloaded ship could only go so far with this many supplies in its belly.
I inaugurate this cooperative.
A series of strong waves sends the crates flying, and the boat's stomach soon explodes. Cracks pierce the hull where the cargo hit, and trickles of water pop one after the other throughout the storage space. Improvise a water pump to allow for immediate repairs. That's going to use our crafting, or seal the damaged section and repair it at the next harbor. Your crew won't be happy, but if you feel unprepared, you can avoid this situation altogether. I do feel a little unprepared, to be quite honest. What's his crafting? 20. That's it. It's the only crafting we have. Come on, man. What's your name? Who are you? Dr. Salvador? You can do it.
And thrust into the unknown.
Your crafty crew has a solution for everything. Using communication tubes as the pump's body
Ideally, one
and spare metal sheets as paddles, the sailors managed to assemble what could pass for a proper water pump. It takes a good dozen men to make it work, but they buy enough time for their proper repairs. Hey, he did it, Dr. Salvador. Nice.
Nothing to fear.
Oh, we just consumed the the extra rations, I think. But okay. Because it said -1. Wow, look at the size of this thick boat. Jeez, it's massive. All the little seats on
How
top.
thrilling! A renowned personage has arrived.
Personage. Alright, I think we've got him already. We'll take him on. So what are we up to now, attractive-wise? We are up to 5,688, and that's because, of course, we are currently running a World's Fair. Nice. So festivities are giving us 800 extra. So yeah, so we're going to add in the Kraken here. The other one is the Black Swallower, so I guess I'll just quickly look up where we find that. So, this is the source of this item, yeah? Yeah, okay. So, on diving as well, so Kraken's Pit, so that's, so yeah, we've already got those written down. So, Kraken's Pit, Nest of Guckelmat, so both of those are true again. Map of the Arctic Basin. The Megalodon Abyss, which we had before, we also have one of those things right now. And the map of the Abyssal Zone. So, those two are the same. So, the two that it's added are Jormungandr's Lair, which is like a Viking or a Norse god, isn't it? There's layer. Sorry, I'm just writing this down. And then the map of the Oceanic Trench. Map of Oceanic Trench. And then the other one was the Arctic Basin. We didn't have listed either. So there's much more things that we can use to find this. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I can't believe we found the Kraken just like that. It felt like a real treasure hunt. Although it's a bit weird to, it's not really a treasure hunt, is it? It's almost like finding it, like catching an animal. I guess it's like it's almost like an expedition for animals, really. Right, so how much time do we have in the episode? Oh, not much left to go. Unfortunately, I might just wait until that ship gets back here, and then I'm going to kick it over to a time lapse of something I've already done in Cape Trelawney that I've avoided showing, but you might have spotted it for a quick second. But I'm just going to have to quickly look and see where that ship is. It's coming back, Gelt's medals, coming back with the gold. We have the scholarship with its, look at the speed of the scholarship. The speed, it's got the propeller on it as well. Overtaking Gelt's medals there. So that has the Kraken on it right there. Chennai 3. There we go. The speed. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so the thing is, this is like a temporary build in a way. Like, I can build this and have it sustained there, but ultimately, what's going to happen is we're going to run out of the supplies they need. So the next few episodes are now going to be properly designing and working on exactly what we need to fulfill all these residences. Now, scholars are at 8155. That's almost too much, so I think I might change this guy. The amazing fashion designer who gives bonus residence and max residence. Might change him out to give us Wise and Besson Homesteader, which instead will give us Attractiveness 5 for every household. So that number is going to start falling down. and we'll see where we end up. Like I said, I'm aiming for 7,000. To be fair, we do need to raise population anyway to give us extra modules, which we've just gotten now. So there we go, 2 extra modules for the palace. Think I've laid that out right? I think so. A little bit too forgiving, I guess. Oh, you don't need to copy that anymore. Actually, it does it dynamically, doesn't it? Nice. Cool. Yeah, and I guess just extend that to there. Maybe add that in. Alright. Promotion not possible. What are we lacking? I just wasn't extending it correctly. That's my bad. So this could actually be a number 5 and have a gap, and we could lead the road through. There you go. The palace grows all the time. We are just getting further and further to the end goal, or my end goal anyway, of completing that palace. So 42. So the next population number we have to hit is 52,000. So I'm planning on building up in Cape Trelawney. So I imagine a lot of the population is going to come from there, because obviously in Cape Trelawney we're going to have what's it called? Yeah, this kind of area filled out a bit more, and I'm hoping this area as well. But we need to raise the industry over here, so we'll be focusing on that in the future. But yeah, for now we're still just going to work on getting the scholars all up and running, and then once all the production chains are set, then we can increase things over there. So has that ship arrived yet? Don't know where it is. The Chennai. No, it doesn't seem to be here yet. Damn. There it is. Alright, it's almost there. I really just want to see the Kraken, just for the payoff. If it's in a little building and we don't actually get to see it, I'll be really upset. Oh, actually, while we're doing that, we could be diving, so let's do that. So it's the map of the underwater pyramid, a map of Isabella Sarmanto's emergency vault. I don't know which one we're on right now. And it was the vault. Okay, and the last one is then out this way. And then we're going to go to the Arctic to do some of the ones that we think that we might be able to find Black Swallower at. There it is. I'm identifying them way better than I used to be in the old one, or back in the day. If we have a look at, just really quickly, what was left in here, so map-wise. Right, what do we have? We have map of an abyssal zone, which is not what we need. Herdsman's Journal, Megalodon Abyss, so that one for sure. Sunken Royal Clipper, nope. Ghost Ship Sighting, Arctic Basin, yeah, so that one. So we've got 2, so that's a pretty good chances then. 2 out of the 6 different ones. And I think that's it. Then we've all these like smaller ones, but we didn't see them listed. Alright, cool. So yeah, 2 chances I guess. Might get lucky again, hopefully. Let's see if that ship is back. There it is. Almost want to bring our super fast ship down to it. Let's just speed it up. I don't mind speeding time up just to get this item over there, and then we'll jump over to the last time lapse of the episode to show what I've been working on. Where is the ship? It's there. Oh, I sent it over to Madame Gehenna. I forgot to actually use it. So the Kraken, the legendary Kraken captured. It propels itself wildly around the tank. Tiny human observers cower under its mesmerizing gaze. Part of the abyssal depths. Purchase price 720,000. You can sell it for 180,000 though.
Cargo station.
Admiral.
Expedition requires attention again. Was it worth transferring it? We're just taking over the other ship now. With our double propeller thing.
Bring her
All right, we'll continue the expedition in the next episode. All right, there we go. Let's pop him in there. Let's see what he looks like. Come on. Big payoff for the final episode, or final part of the episode.
Your ship has returned from its voyage.
Oh my god, he's huge. Yes. Yes. It's awesome. He did not let me down. That's so cool that you actually see him on the perch up on the rock every now and then. That's awesome. God damn, he's huge. All right. There we go. We saw it. Is he going to hop back up? And we'll look at this, you know, when I've designed it out and laid it out a bit better in future.
Should have praised it from your cold, dead hands.
All right, cool. So that's pretty much it, right? We have the World's Fair to complete a second time. Let's get World's Fair Annex or Marine. No, I need the Marine Promenade, actually. I know what it is already. It's always the fountains. So we'll just get rid of them here. I didn't get the edges, though. It gave me more fountain stuff, but it didn't give me... I'm looking for the end gaps. Damn, I think I have to do an exhibition that's one of the lower ones. God damn. Because, yeah, I don't have the end cap for these. Oh, well, we've loads of fountains now, so we can do something crazy with that in future, but... That's going to have to be it. So, I'll obviously say goodbye in the final part of the... time-lapse, but I hope people enjoy what I worked on. It's over in Cape Trelawney, so jumping over to the time-lapse is something I did over there now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for yet another time-lapse here in the episode, and this time it's in Cape Trelawney, and it's to build out a new grain village on top of this kind of large plateau up here, overlooking the coastlines, and really just to supply this island for a long time going forward. So you may remember the old grain village from Swords, I think it was the second farm we ever built, because we had Potato Village, of course, first. Very inventive names. The idea of building it up here was largely based on the windmills. Much like it was on Swords, I wanted to have them overlooking the river and stuff. Now I want them to be on the edges of the cliffs, overlooking the coast and the sea. And I just thought that would be a really cool place to have it. Have golden fields kind of like all completely covered up here with the windmills turning in between them. So without even thinking of production chains, I laid down 6, I think. 6. Made sure that they were covered by a trade union so we could do something with them in future. And I end up placing an item in there. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it gives us electricity. So all the mills get that 200% efficiency bonus. And then the rest of the trade union items, I think, affect things like... it's Alexander Hancock that affects the farms, and I think some fertilizer that gives us more modules and stuff, so... Obviously then piling on the tractors, I think ultimately we're up to like 450% efficiency with the farm, so pretty high up there. I think you can get even more, but for me, that's quite high up there, so I'm really happy with that. So ultimately, you know the drill. Wanted to essentially lay out some houses, lay out a sort of mini village, you know, a pub, a marketplace, and then place houses within the farms themselves as if they are the people that are the farmers, right? They own these farms and they live here and they live there and this is where they work and all of that. So I think it looks really, really nice from a distance. And with the wheat farms, it looks much better to have tractors activated on them rather than the vineyards, for instance. But it makes a lot more sense here. So it's a lot of just me, you know, looking around, figuring out what we can place down, where we can place things down. I wanted to leave a good amount of space for ornaments, of course. I like the Bright Harvest DLC comes with pretty nice ornaments for farmer tier residences, which add things like hay bales and I don't know, signposts, scarecrows, things like that. Might actually place a few scarecrows down in and around the modules later. See how that looks. It might look nice. The annoying thing with it is if you place down something like a scarecrow in the middle of a field, a fence is placed around the scarecrow, which maybe isn't too unrealistic or anything, but it's just a bit odd. You know, you think that you could just place it down in a module for perhaps. Maybe they'll do something with that in the future, I don't know, seeing as they're overhauling ornaments. But, yeah, so that's pretty much it. You know the drill. Basically placing down some houses here, then connecting up the roads and trying to figure out like an organic layout to it. Also trying to keep it covered by the trade union, have a more centralized cluster of where the houses are, and then still have bigger, more... Because the problem is, if you've got houses all over the fields, there's not enough space for the field to look in any way natural. You're like, why is there a house in this field? You want to have like that cluster in the center, have obviously make sure you've got the warehouses. We've even got a town hall up here and everything to cover certain houses to make them happier, whatever, more productive, less more workforce or whatever it might be. But then leaving enough of a gap around the edges to make sure that there's still plenty of space to have this nice, uninterrupted golden field for quite a while, you know, because it can look nice with the houses in between, but you'd still need that big open stretches, especially when you have tractors. You don't want to see them taking turns all over the place and, you know, really disrupting the flow, I guess, of what a farm should look like ultimately. You can make the argument that they all have their own, like, individual small patches and stuff, I guess, but we are industrialized, you know, we're far into the 1800s here, so I like to think that you need those big sweeping fields in certain sections as well. And you won't see that until we get further down, when I start filling out a little bit further down. I don't know if they need a fire station, but I decided to give it to them just because I realized the productivity was so high, and I guess it's good public service. We don't have a police station though, thinking about it, but I don't think they need that. I went with just 2 supply warehouses on either side, and then actually a third one a little bit further up later. Excuse me. And I decided to make the third one just look a little bit different. So the 2 big warehouses here that I'm placing the hay bales around and stuff, they are grand warehouses, as big as they go. But the other one, I actually decided to keep it like slightly smaller, just to break it up and make it look less uniform, and also like make it look like the ones that are further out of the town are less developed. And you'll see me do that. What I'm doing here basically is adding in some ornaments to make the place feel a bit more natural. Like when there's only one module around a corner that has a wheat field in it, it's like, well, why would that be that way? You know, you should have trees or hay bales or something there instead. So I'm basically just fencing off the market area. I kind of feel like I might change the market, replace it with the pub and put the pub where the market is, vice versa, because I added this like almost beer garden to the market, and yet it doesn't quite make sense for a market, but the pub is really enclosed. The reason I have the pub where it is because I wanted it next to the trade union, because I thought that kind of makes sense. It's where the workers are. They go out to the pub after work and so on. This is all part of a plan. And that's why I do it this way. But yeah, so essentially then like trying to get rid of these tiny little areas where there's like just bits of modules wrapped around these tiny places, and then adding in either extra houses or extra ornaments. And that way you end up with, like I said, more uninterrupted areas where it's like a longer stretch of wheat field rather than like tiny individual areas. So what I'm trying to do here is on the left side, I'm trying to have each side be equal, which is kind of a tricky thing to do. I'm trying to have each side be equal. The left side comes down much more in terms of how many grain fields there are, but on the right side, it's obviously much shorter. So I add in another one here. This one isn't covered by the trade union, but it's still enough that we can like fill in that other side. And then to balance things out, I'm then adding or removing houses to, you know, take up essentially, 9 modules. So if I'm over by, 10 modules, I can remove a house, move a piece of road, etc., etc. You get the idea. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Hooking it up now to the actual railway so that we can deliver the oil that's needed for the fuel station to supply this place, the tractors. And after this, I'll probably add in like another kind of potato village or red pepper farm or something like that just a bit further down. The red pepper fertility doesn't exist on this island, but we do have an item for it. So we'll need a trade union specifically for that. So this is basically the look of the place. Now, what I wasn't happy with was all the tiny little bits of hay bales and all these extra little modules you get. There's 10 different looks to each individual module of a wheat field, and you can get all these different variants and stuff, which is nice, but I want to just pretty much just straight up blank, like I said, I keep saying the same word, uninterrupted wheat fields almost everywhere. And then I would go back through it and see like where there's like tiny turns in the roads or turns next to the production buildings themselves. Then I would add in what I think the number was number 8, which is those little individual haystacks that you see. So I kind of have them closer to the production buildings, closer on the awkward areas, and then the large sweeping areas out on the extremities of the actual plateau. That's where I've got like the blank fields. So I think it looks really nice that way. This is a bit of an aside, but I also saw that on the Anno Union, they're featuring screenshots from people's cities. And if I dare say so myself, I think my cities look quite good sometimes. And I dare say they look better than some of those screenshots I've seen, at least to me. So I think I might start wrapping up some of these areas and taking screenshots and maybe posting them to, I don't know, Reddit or something. Because I'm getting a little bit jealous, to be quite frank. Just do a small regard. I always post them in my Discord, but obviously they don't check there. So maybe I'll post them if people think my cities look nice. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoy the look of this place. We'll look at it more in depth in the next one. And that's going to be it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support this series directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. If you don't see the join button, it means the video has been copyright claimed, but you can still join from the channel page on desktop. You can also link your account to our Discord to get a special role on there that will give you access to the Senate House and a few other perks.